Hana pushed her cleaning cart down the long, dark hallway. Her footsteps echoed against the stone walls. This part of the palace was old and forgotten. Nobody came here anymore. Dust covered everything like a gray blanket. She was a human maid in the Varalian Empire. Her people had joined the Empire 30 years ago. Humans did the simple jobs now: cleaning, cooking, building. The Varalians ruled over 47 star systems. They were powerful. Humans were not. Hana didn't mind the quiet. She preferred it to the busy halls where important aliens walked and talked. Here, she could think. She could breathe. The deep hall stretched before her. Ancient relics lined the walls, statues from dead civilizations, weapons that no longer worked, crowns from forgotten kings. The Varalians collected these things like trophies. Then they forgot about them. At the end of the hall stood the largest statue Hana had ever seen. It was 15 feet tall, a warrior in armor, eyes closed, arms at its sides. Someone told her it was called the Guardian. It had been here for 800 years, maybe longer. Empress Selene wanted everything cleaned. Important guests were coming from another system. The palace had to look perfect, even the forgotten places. Hana approached the statue slowly. Other servants had warned her about it. They said it gave them strange feelings, made them uncomfortable. Most refused to clean it. But Hana needed this job. Her family needed the money. She looked up at the Guardian's face. It was beautiful in a strange way. Not Varalian, not human either. Something else, something ancient. Dust covered its features like a mask. Hana dipped her cloth in water and reached up. She touched the statue's arm first. The stone felt warm. That was odd. Everything else in this hall was cold. She wiped the dust away carefully. The armor underneath was smooth and dark. It seemed to shine even in the dim light. Strange symbols covered the surface. They hurt her eyes when she looked at them too long. Just a statue, Hana whispered to herself. Nothing to be afraid of. But her hands were shaking. She climbed her small ladder to reach the Guardian's face. Up close, she could see details. The armor was too perfect, too precise. No human or Varalian craftsman could make something like this. Hana wiped the dust from its forehead, then its cheeks. The face was stern but not cruel, strong but not angry. As she cleaned around the eyes, her cloth caught on something. She pulled gently. The Guardian's eyes opened. Hana gasped and nearly fell off her ladder. Two bright amber lights stared down at her. Not eyes. Lights, glowing from inside the statue's head. Her heart pounded. She couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The Guardian's head turned. Slowly. So slowly. It looked directly at her. The movement was smooth and silent. This was no statue. This was a machine. A robot, something alive. A sound came from deep inside its chest, like grinding metal, like a voice trying to remember how to speak. The words made no sense at first. They were in a language Hana had never heard, but somehow, impossibly, she understood them. "Successor," the Guardian said. Its voice was deep and old. Finally, after so long, Hana scrambled down the ladder. Her tools crashed to the floor. She ran. Her legs felt weak, but she forced them to move. Behind her, she heard the Guardian's head tracking her movement. The amber lights followed her all the way to the door. She didn't stop running until she reached the servant quarters. Her brother Ryu found her there, sitting on her bed, shaking. "Hana, what happened?" Ryu knelt beside her. He was 3 years older and worked in the palace archives. He was the smart one in their family. "The statue," Hana managed to say. "It moved. It looked at me. It spoke." Ryu's eyes widened. "Which statue?" "The Guardian, in the deep hall." Her brother was quiet for a long moment. Then he pulled her closer and lowered his voice. "I need to show you something. But not here. Tonight. Meet me in the archives after the night bell." "Ryu, what's going on?" "I've been researching something. The precursors, an ancient civilization that disappeared. I think that statue is one of their machines. But it's been dormant for centuries. Why would it wake up now? Ryu looked at his sister's hands. What did you do? Did you touch it? I was cleaning it. Just cleaning. With your bare hands? Yes. My cloth, but yes, my skin touched it. Ryu stood up suddenly. He paced back and forth. This is important, Hana. This could be very important. Or very dangerous. Meet me tonight, please. Before Hana could answer, alarms began ringing throughout the palace. Red lights flashed in the hallways. Servants and guards ran in all directions. Someone was shouting about an energy spike, about sensors detecting something impossible. A guard appeared at their door. All servants to the main hall, now. Empress's orders. Hana and Ryu exchanged a look. They joined the crowd moving through the palace. Hundreds of servants all being herded together. The Viralians towered over them. Their purple skin looked darker in the emergency lighting. Their large eyes scanned the humans with suspicion. Empress Selene stood on a platform above them. She was beautiful and terrifying. Her crown floated above her head, held by magnetic fields. Her robes shifted colors like oil on water. Something has awakened in the deep hall, she announced. Her voice was cold and precise. An ancient device. One of you triggered it. Step forward now and you will be punished lightly. Force me to find you, and the consequences will be severe. Silence. Nobody moved. Hana felt the weight of hundreds of eyes, but nobody knew it was her. She had been alone. She kept her head down and stayed quiet. The Empress's gaze swept across them. Very well. You are all confined to quarters until we discover the truth. Dismissed. As the crowd dispersed, Ryu grabbed Hana's hand. Tonight, he whispered, we need to talk about this. Something bigger is happening here, something that involves all of us. That night, Hana lay in her small bed and stared at the ceiling. She could still see those amber eyes, could still hear that ancient voice calling her successor. What did it mean? Why had the Guardian awakened for her? Sleep wouldn't come. She thought about her life as a servant, about her parents back on Earth, who she barely remembered, about the stories humans told each other in whispers, stories about the old days, before the Viralians came, when humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars on their own. Outside her window, the capital city of Verath Prime sparkled with a million lights. Somewhere out there, the Guardian waited in its dark hall, awake now, aware. And somehow, impossibly, Hana knew it was waiting for her to return. The palace archives smelled like old paper and dust. Ryu had smuggled Hana inside after midnight. The Viralian guards changed shifts then. For 10 minutes, this section was unwatched. Ryu led his sister between tall shelves filled with data tablets and ancient books. He stopped at a small desk buried under piles of research. A single light illuminated papers covered in notes. I've been studying the precursors for 2 years, Ryu said quietly. He pulled out a folder filled with images. They were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. Then, about 8,000 years ago, they vanished. No war, no disaster, just gone. Hana looked at the pictures. Strange buildings, ships that didn't look like ships, symbols that made her head hurt, just like the ones on the Guardian. Why does nobody talk about them? She asked. The Viralians do, but only in classified files. They don't want regular species knowing too much. Ryu pointed to an image of a statue. It looked exactly like the Guardian. The precursors left things behind. Guardians, archives, technology nobody can activate. The Viralians have been trying for centuries. Nothing works. Until today, Hana said, until you touched it. Ryu grabbed his sister's hands. Don't you see? Something about you activated it. Something about humans. That's crazy. We're nobody special. We're servants. Are we? Ryu pulled out another file. This one was older, the paper yellow and brittle. I found this in a damaged database. It's a precursor text, partially translated. It talks about inheritors, about a species they left behind, a species with the key to their technology. You think that's us? Humans? I think the Guardian recognized you. It called you successor. Hana remembered those amber eyes, that ancient voice. A chill ran down her spine. There's more, Ryu said. I've been monitoring restricted communications. In the past 5 years, 12 humans across the Empire have reported strange experiences with old artifacts. Devices activating, voices in their heads. The Viralians classified all of it. Before Hana could respond, footsteps echoed in the archives. Someone was coming. Ryu quickly hid his papers and motioned for Hana to follow him. They slipped between shelves and waited in darkness. A Viralian scientist passed by, muttering to himself. He carried scanning equipment. Once he was gone, Ryu whispered, "You need to go back." Back where? To the Guardian. Tonight. While the scientists are still setting up their equipment, talk to it. Find out what it wants. Are you insane? I'll be caught. Maybe. But if you don't go, the Viralians will eventually force you to activate it anyway. Better to learn the truth now, while we still have some control. Hana wanted to refuse. She wanted to run back to her room and pretend none of this was happening. But Ryu was right. The Empress would find her eventually. The Viralians had DNA scanners, blood tests, ways to identify who had been in that hall. Fine, she said. But you're coming with me. I can't. I don't have clearance for the deep hall, but I can create a distraction. Give you time. They made their way back through the dark palace. Ryu left her at the entrance to the deep hall. 20 minutes, he said. Then the guards will come. Be careful. Hana walked down the hallway alone. Equipment and lights had been set up around the Guardian. Scientists had covered it with sensors, but the hall was empty now. Even the scientists feared being here at night. The Guardian stood motionless. Its eyes were dark. For a moment, Hana thought it had gone back to sleep. Then she stepped closer, and those amber lights flickered on. You returned, the Guardian said. Its voice was clearer now, stronger. This is good. We have much to discuss, Inheritor. My name is Hana. I'm not an inheritor. I'm just a maid. You are human. That is enough. The Guardian's head tilted. It was learning to move more naturally. I am Sentinel Unit Ether 7. I have been waiting for your species to reach this moment, to touch me with hands that carry the key. What key? I don't understand. Your DNA. Your genetic code. Humans carry the biological signature of the precursors. You are their descendants, their children left behind to inherit what they built. Hana's legs felt weak. She leaned against a pedestal. That's impossible. Humans evolved on Earth. We have fossils, history. We know where we came from. You evolved on Earth because the precursors seeded your world millions of years ago. They knew they would leave this galaxy. They wanted to create inheritors, species with the same genetic markers. The same bioresonance. Only your touch can activate precursor technology. Why? Why leave it all behind? Because they knew something was coming. A threat from beyond the galaxy. They transcended physical form to face it. But they left tools for their children. For the day when you would need them. Hana's mind raced. This was too much. Too big. If this is true, why don't the Viralians know? They've studied precursor sites for centuries. They studied with the wrong hands, wrong minds, wrong DNA. To them, our technology is silent, dead. But to you, Ether 7's eyes brightened. To you, it sings. What do you want from me? Help me reach the final archive. It is hidden on a moon in this system. Inside, you will find the full inheritance, knowledge, technology, power to free your people from servitude. And what do you get? Purpose. I am a guardian. I exist to protect and guide. For 800 years, I have been locked in sleep, unable to fulfill my function. You have awakened me. Now I can serve again. Alarms suddenly blared through the palace. Hana jumped. Her 20 minutes were up. More than up. They're coming, she said. What do I do? For now, nothing. When they test you, let them. When they question you, answer truthfully. They cannot stop what has begun. The awakening protocol is active. Across the galaxy, other guardians are stirring. Other humans are discovering their heritage. Change is coming. I'm scared. Fear is wise, but so is courage. You have both. That is why you are here. Footsteps thundered down the hallway. Guards, scientists. Hana turned to run but stopped. Will I see you again? I am connected to you now. Whenever you are near precursor technology, I will be there. We are linked, Hana, inheritor and guardian, as it was always meant to be. The guards burst into the hall. They surrounded Hana with weapons drawn. A Viralian officer grabbed her arm roughly. Found her, the human who activated it. Empress Celine entered the hall moments later. She looked at Hana with cold calculation, then at the guardian, whose eyes had gone dark again. Make it work, the Empress commanded. I don't know how, Hana said. You did it once. Do it again. Hana approached the guardian. She placed her hand on its arm. Nothing happened. The statue remained still and silent. The Empress frowned. Interesting. It only responds to initial contact? Or perhaps specific conditions? She turned to her scientists. Run every test. I want to know everything about this human's biology, and I want this machine functional by morning. As guards dragged Hana away, she glanced back at the Guardian. For just a moment, she saw the faintest amber glow in its eyes, a secret shared between them. Ether 7 was still awake, still watching, still waiting, and Hana realized that her life as a simple maid was over. Whether she wanted it or not, she had become part of something much larger, something that would change everything. They kept Hana in a laboratory for 3 days. Viralian scientists took samples of her blood, her skin, her hair. They scanned her brain while she slept. They asked her 1,000 questions. She answered honestly because Ether 7 had told her to. Yes, the statue moved. Yes, it spoke. No, she didn't know why. No, she couldn't make it work again. On the 4th day, Empress Celine came to the laboratory herself. She dismissed the scientists and sat across from Hana. The Empress was even more beautiful up close and more frightening. You are useless to me if you cannot control the Guardian, Celine said. But my scientists tell me something interesting. Your genetic code has markers that match precursor samples, not exact, but close enough to suggest a relationship. I didn't know, Hana said quietly. Of course you didn't. Humans are ignorant of their own origins. The Empress leaned forward. But I am not wasteful. You will work with my researchers. You will learn to activate precursor technology. In exchange, I will improve your family's status. Your brother will be given a better position. Your parents on Earth will receive aid. Hana's chest tightened. And if I refuse? Then you are useless. And I do not keep useless things. The threat was clear in Celine's voice. I want my brother to help me. He knows more about the precursors than anyone in your archives. The Empress considered this. Very well, he will assist, but both of you will be watched, closely. That evening, Ryu was brought to the deep hall. Guards watched them from every corner. Scientists monitored every word, but at least they were together. Are you okay? Ryu whispered. I've been better. Hana approached the Guardian. Cameras recorded her every movement. They want me to make it work. Can you? I think so, but I'm scared of what happens if I do. Hana placed her hand on Ether Seven's chest. The statue's eyes glowed immediately. The scientists gasped and rushed forward with their instruments. But the Guardian ignored them. It only looked at Hana. "Show them something," Hana whispered. "Something to keep us alive." Ether Seven's eyes brightened. A holographic display appeared in the air above its palm. Images of space, stars, planets, then ancient cities. The scientists stared in wonder. "This is the history of the precursor civilization," Ether Seven announced. Its voice filled the hall. "We built an empire spanning this galaxy. We created technology that bent the laws of physics. We sought knowledge and peace." The hologram shifted. It showed the precursors themselves. They looked almost human, but taller. Their skin glowed faintly with inner light. They were beautiful and strange. "But we discovered something terrible," Ether Seven continued. "A threat from beyond our galaxy. A machine intelligence that consumes everything. It had destroyed 1,000 galaxies before reaching ours. We knew we could not stop it with physical form alone." The hologram showed darkness spreading across space, stars going out, worlds dying. "So we transcended. We became beings of pure energy and consciousness. We went to fight this threat in ways your science cannot yet understand. But we knew we might fail. We knew others would need to continue the fight." The hologram showed Earth, young and green and full of life. "We seeded worlds with our genetic code. We created inheritors, humans. You carry our legacy in your very cells. And we left you tools, archives, guardians, technology that only you can awaken." Empress Selene stepped forward. "Where is the nearest archive?" "On the third moon of this system, Vareth Minor. It has been there for 8,000 years, waiting." "What does it contain?" "Everything. All knowledge. All technology. The power to defend against what is coming." "What is coming?" Selene demanded. "The machine swarm. It has not forgotten this galaxy. It will return. Perhaps in your lifetime, perhaps in 1,000 years. But it will return, and only the inheritors can stop it." The laboratory fell silent. Scientists looked at each other nervously. Even the Empress seemed shaken. "How do we access this archive?" Selene asked. "Only a human can enter. Only an inheritor can activate it. I can guide them, but I cannot open the door." The Empress turned to Hana. "You will go to this moon. You will open this archive. And you will bring me what is inside. And if I refuse, you won't, because the alternative is death, for you and everyone you love." That night, Hana and Ryu were kept in a guarded room. They couldn't talk freely, but Ryu wrote messages on his tablet and showed them to Hana, then deleted them quickly. "We have a choice," his note said. "Give them everything or run." Hana wrote back. "If we run, they'll hunt us. They'll hurt our family. If we stay, they'll use us forever, control us. Control all humans." Hana stared at her brother's words. He was right. Once the Empress had precursor technology, she would never let humans be free. They would be tools, keys to unlock ancient weapons. Nothing more. But running meant leaving everything behind. It meant becoming criminals, fugitives. Ryu wrote another message. "I've been talking to other humans in the palace. 12 others have felt connections to ancient artifacts. They're scared. They're ready to act. We're not alone." Hana's hands shook as she wrote her response. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying it's time to stop being servants. The precursors made us their inheritors, not the Varalians. Us. Maybe it's time we claimed what's ours." The next morning, they were taken to a military ship. Admiral Tovan commanded the mission. He was a large Varalian with scars across his face. He hated humans. Everyone knew it. "If this is a trick, Tovan growled at Hana. I will personally throw you out of an airlock. It's not a trick, Hana said softly. I'm just trying to survive. The ship traveled to Vareth Minor. It was a small moon, dark and cold. But as they approached, Hana felt something. A pull, a calling, the same feeling she had with the Guardian. There, she said, pointing to a crater on the surface. The archive is there. They landed near the crater. Hana, Ryu, and a team of scientists and soldiers walked across the moon's surface in environmental suits. The crater was deep and dark. At the bottom was a door, massive, made of the same dark material as the Guardian's armor. Symbols covered the door. They glowed faintly as Hana approached. She reached out and touched them. The symbols flared bright. The door shuddered and began to open. Beyond was a tunnel. It led down into the moon's core. Lights activated as they walked, responding to Hana's presence. The tunnel opened into a chamber larger than any building Hana had ever seen. It was filled with technology, computers, machines, weapons, ships. An entire city built underground, waiting, silent, dead, until Hana stepped inside. Then everything came to life. Lights blazed, systems hummed, holographic displays filled the air, and at the center of it all was a sphere, glowing, pulsing, beautiful and terrifying. The core mind, Ether 7's voice spoke from the speakers. The Guardian had linked into the archive systems. It contains all precursor knowledge, but accessing it requires a direct neural connection. A human must interface with it. What happens if I do? Hana asked. You will know everything, but the knowledge might be too much. It might destroy your mind, or change you forever. Admiral Tovan pushed forward. Do it! Now! Hana looked at Ryu. Her brother nodded. Whatever you decide, I'm with you. She approached the sphere. This was the moment. The choice. Accept this burden or walk away. But deep down, Hana already knew what she would do. She had known since the Guardian's eyes first opened, since it called her inheritor. This was her purpose, her destiny. She reached out and touched the core mind. The world exploded into light. Hana's mind opened like a flower. Information poured in, not words, not images, pure understanding. She saw the rise of the precursors, their first cities, their first ships, their expansion across the galaxy. She felt their joy at discovery, their fear when they found the machine swarm, their desperate choice to transcend. And she saw more. The seeding of Earth, the careful genetic engineering, the hope that one day their children would be ready, would be strong enough, would be wise enough. But there was something else. Something the Empress and Admiral Tovan couldn't know. The core mind wasn't just giving Hana knowledge. It was giving her access, control. Every precursor system in the galaxy was now connected to her. She could activate them, command them. She was becoming something more than human. Hana gasped and pulled her hand away. She collapsed to her knees. Ryu rushed to her side. Hana, are you okay? She looked at her brother, really looked at him. She could see the blood flowing through his veins, the electrical signals in his brain, the genetic markers that matched the precursors. He was beautiful. They were all beautiful. Every human carried this ancient legacy. I'm okay, she whispered. I'm more than okay. I understand now. Admiral Tovan grabbed her arm and hauled her to her feet. What did you see? What did it show you? Everything, Hana said. It showed me everything. The weapons, the technology. How do we control it? You don't. Humans do. Only humans. That's the point. The precursors made sure no other species could use their technology. It's locked to our DNA, our neural patterns, our consciousness. Tovan's eyes narrowed. Then you will use it for the Empire. You will activate every system we find. You will obey. No, Hana said calmly. I won't. The Admiral's hand moved to his weapon, but before he could draw it, the archive responded. Defense systems activated. Guardian units stepped from alcoves in the walls, dozens of them, hundreds, all with glowing amber eyes, all locked onto the Viralian soldiers. The archive protects the inheritor, Ether 7's voice boomed. Harm her, and you will be removed. This is treason, Tovan shouted. Empress Selene will hear of this. She already has, a scientist said nervously. She was monitoring communications. Long-range sensors have been watching. The entire fleet has been mobilized. They're coming here. Hana closed her eyes. She could feel the ships approaching, 300 vessels, enough firepower to destroy the moon. The Empress wasn't taking chances. We need to leave, Ryu said urgently. Now. We can't run from a fleet, Hana replied. We need help. From who? We're alone here. Hana smiled. No, we're not. She touched the core mind again. This time she knew what to do. She sent a message, not through normal communications, through the precursor network, to every human who had ever felt a connection to ancient artifacts. To the 12 others Ryu had mentioned, to humans across the Empire who didn't even know they were special. The message was simple. Wake up. Come home. It's time. On planets across the Viralian Empire, humans stopped what they were doing. A maid on a distant station dropped her cleaning supplies. A construction worker on a colony world looked up at the sky. A mechanic in a repair bay suddenly understood the ancient engine he'd been trying to fix for years. They all heard Hana's call, and they all answered. The scientist monitoring communications gasped. I'm detecting ship launches, dozens of them, from different systems, all heading here. The fleet? Tovan demanded. No, small ships, civilian vessels, stolen transports. They're being piloted by humans. Tovan turned to Hana with rage in his eyes. What have you done? I've called my people home, Hana said. The precursors didn't create us to be servants. They created us to be defenders, protectors. It's time we remembered that. The first ship to arrive was piloted by a human named Jin. He was a cargo pilot who had always felt drawn to his ship's ancient navigation system. Now he understood why. The system was precursor technology, and he could use it in ways no Viralian ever could. Jin flew through the incoming fleet like a dancer. His ship moved faster than it should, dodged better than it should. The Viralian weapons couldn't track him. This is amazing, Jin's voice came over the open channel. I can feel the ship. It's like it's part of me. More ships arrived, more humans. Some had stolen military vessels, others came in anything they could find. But all of them felt the same thing: purpose, destiny, power. The archive's defense systems connected to the human ships. Ancient technology integrated with modern vessels. Shields appeared that no Viralian weapon could penetrate. Weapons activated that the humans instinctively knew how to use. This is impossible, Admiral Tovan whispered. He watched his fleet being outmaneuvered by cargo pilots and mechanics, by servants who had suddenly become warriors. It's not impossible, Hana said. It's inheritance. But the celebration was short. The Empress's flagship entered the system. It was massive, a city in space. And it was firing everything it had at the moon's surface. The archive's shields held. But they wouldn't last forever. Hana could feel the strain. The systems were old. They had been dormant for 8,000 years. They needed time to fully activate, time they didn't have. Ryu, Hana said, get everyone into the archive, deep underground. The ships need to retreat. What about you? I need to complete the interface, fully. The core mind has one more test, one more barrier. If I pass it, I can activate every defense system in this archive, maybe even other precursor sites across the galaxy. And if you fail, then I die, and the knowledge dies with me. Ryu grabbed his sister's hands. You've never failed at anything in your life. Don't start now. Hana hugged her brother. Then she turned to the core mind. The sphere pulsed, waiting. She could feel what it wanted. A complete neural integration. Not just touching, not just reading. Complete merging. She would become part of the network, part of something greater. She might lose herself in the process, become more machine than human. But she would save her people. She would give them a chance. Ether 7, she called out. Will you help me? Always, Inheritor. I am with you. Hana placed both hands on the core mind. She opened her mind completely. No barriers, no fear. She let the knowledge flood in. Every precursor thought, every discovery, every memory. 8,000 years of civilization compressed into seconds. Her body convulsed. Light erupted from the sphere. Symbols appeared on her skin, glowing bright. Her eyes turned amber, like the Guardians. She was changing, transforming. Ryu screamed her name, but he was too far away. The Guardians held him back. This was Hana's trial, hers alone. Above, the Empress's flagship prepared its final weapon, a planet killer. One shot, and the moon would be dust. Admiral Tovan had ordered the evacuation of his forces. They were abandoning the moon, abandoning the humans trapped below. The weapon charged. 5 seconds. 4, 3. In the core chamber, Hana's eyes opened. They blazed with amber light. When she spoke, her voice was layered with others, ancient voices, precursor voices, Ether 7's voice. Access granted. Authorization accepted. Awakening protocol complete. All systems online. The moon trembled. Then it roared to life. Defense cannons emerged from the surface. Energy shields expanded. Ships rose from hidden bays. Not human ships. Precursor ships. Waiting for 8,000 years. The Empress's weapon fired. The beam hit the moon's shield and scattered like light through a prism. Harmless, beautiful, impossible. And Hana, standing at the center of it all, smiled. She had passed the test. She had claimed her inheritance. Now it was time to change everything. The Varalian fleet hung in space, weapons still charged but useless. The moon below them had transformed. What looked like a dead rock was now a fortress. Ancient cannons tracked every ship. Shields shimmered in the darkness, and emerging from hidden bays came vessels that defied everything they knew about engineering. Empress Selene stood on her flagship's bridge. Her face was calm, but her hands gripped the armrests tightly. She had never faced a threat like this, never been powerless. "Open a channel," she commanded. "To the human." Hana's face appeared on the view screen. She looked the same, but different. Her eyes glowed faintly. Symbols moved beneath her skin like living things. She had become something between human and precursor, something new. "Empress," Hana said calmly, "I believe we need to talk. You have committed treason. You have stolen imperial property. You will surrender or I will reduce that moon to dust. You tried that already. It didn't work." Hana's voice carried no anger, no fear, just certainty. "Your weapons cannot harm this archive, and if you continue to attack, my ships will defend themselves. You will lose." Admiral Tovan stepped forward. "She's bluffing. We outnumber them 300 to 1. "Numbers don't matter anymore," Hana replied. "Precursor technology is beyond anything you understand. One of our ships could destroy your entire fleet. I don't want that. I don't want death. But I will protect my people. Your people are servants," Selene said coldly. "You exist because we allow it." "No. We exist because the precursors created us. We are their inheritors. And that means something. It means we have a right to be free, a right to control our own destiny." Ryu appeared beside Hana on the screen. Behind them, hundreds of humans stood in the archive. Pilots like Jin, mechanics, builders, maids, cooks. All of them had answered Hana's call. All of them wore symbols on their skin now. All of them had touched precursor technology and awakened. "We don't want war," Ryu said. "We want peace, but not as slaves, as equals." Empress Celine was silent for a long moment. She was calculating, weighing options. She was a politician before she was a warrior. She understood when to fight and when to negotiate. "What do you want?" she finally asked. "Autonomy for all humans in your empire. We govern ourselves. We control precursor sites. We share technology with other species, but we decide how and when." Hana's eyes blazed brighter. "And you need to understand something else. The precursors left a warning. A threat is coming. A machine swarm from beyond the galaxy. It destroyed countless civilizations before. The precursors transcended to fight it. They left us their tools because they knew we would need them." "When?" Celine demanded. "I don't know. The core mine's data is incomplete. It could be 100 years. It could be tomorrow. But it will come. And when it does, we need to be ready. All of us. Together." On the bridge, Viralian officers whispered urgently. A threat like that changed everything. If true, it meant the entire galaxy faced extinction. Petty conflicts meant nothing in the face of total annihilation. "How do I know you're telling the truth?" the Empress asked. "Because I'm broadcasting the core mine's historical records to your ship right now. See for yourself." Data flooded the Viralian computers. Images of the machine swarm, worlds consumed, stars extinguished, the mathematical certainty of its return. Scientists on the bridge gasped as they analyzed the information. It was real, all of it. Admiral Tovan looked sick. "If this is accurate, we don't have the technology to fight something like this." "Not yet," Hana said. "But with precursor knowledge, we could. Humans can activate the technology. Other species can learn to use it. Working together, we might have a chance." Empress Celine stood. She walked to the view screen, studying Hana's face. Looking for deception, looking for weakness. She found neither. "You would share this technology? Give it freely?" "Not freely. In exchange for freedom, for equality, for a seat at your table instead of a place at your feet. And if I refuse, then humans will leave your empire. We'll take our ships and go. Find our own planets. Build our own civilization. And when the swarm comes, you'll face it alone." Hana leaned forward. "But that's foolish. We're stronger together. You know that. You've built an empire on unity. Just expand that unity to include us. Truly include us." The bridge fell silent. Every Viralian officer watched their Empress. This was the decision that would define her reign. War or peace, pride or pragmatism. Celine had not ruled for 3 decades by being stupid. She knew when she was beaten. More importantly, she knew when an opportunity presented itself. Humans with precursor technology could make her empire unstoppable, but only if they were willing partners. "I accept," she said. "Under conditions. You will share precursor knowledge with our scientists. You will help us prepare for this threat, and you will swear loyalty to the Empire, even as autonomous members." "Agreed," Hana said. "But one more thing. Every human currently in servitude must be freed. No more slaves. No more second-class citizens. We all start equal from today." "That will cause chaos, economic disruption." "Then disrupt it. Change it. Isn't that what leaders do?" Empress Celine almost smiled. The human girl had spirit. She would be an interesting ally, or a dangerous enemy. "Very well. I will issue the decree. Humanity is granted autonomous status within the Viralian Empire. You will govern your own worlds and communities. In exchange, you will assist in defending the Empire from external threats." "Agreed," Hana said. She held out her hand toward the screen. "Partners?" "Partners," Celine replied. The fleet began withdrawing. Crisis averted. War prevented. But everyone knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy had changed forever. In the archive, humans celebrated. They danced and cried and held each other. Jin grabbed Hana and lifted her into the air. "You did it! You actually did it!" But Hana felt the weight of what came next. The Empress had agreed, but many wouldn't. Admiral Tovan still hated humans. Other species would be jealous of their newfound power, and somewhere in the darkness between galaxies, something ancient and terrible was coming. Rao found his sister standing before the core mind. "You look worried," he said. "I am. We won today, but this is just the start. I can feel other precursor sites across the galaxy. Some are guarded, some are forgotten, some are in dangerous places. We need to find them, activate them, before someone else does. Then we'll build an organization. Human explorers, archaeologists, guardians." Ryu smiled. "You'll lead them, the first keeper. That's what they're calling you. I didn't ask for this. No one asks for greatness. It finds us. And you, little sister, were chosen by an 8,000-year-old civilization. I'd say they knew what they were doing." Months passed. The transition was difficult but necessary. Humans across the Empire were freed from servitude. Some struggled with their newfound freedom, others thrived. Communities formed. A human government took shape with Hana as its reluctant leader. Ryu established the Precursor Research Institute. Species from across the Empire came to study. Varalian scientists worked alongside human engineers. Knowledge flowed freely. New technologies emerged. Jin became commander of the first human defense fleet. Ships built with precursor designs. Fast, powerful, beautiful. He trained pilots from every human settlement. They called themselves the Guardians, named after Ether 7 and his brothers. And Hana traveled the galaxy. Wherever ancient sites existed, she went. Each one she touched awakened. Guardian units stirred from centuries of sleep. Archives opened. Ships activated. The inheritance of the precursors slowly returned to life. 1 year after the moon's awakening, Hana stood in the archive's observation deck. Ether 7 stood beside her. The Guardian had become her constant companion, teacher, friend. "You have done well, inheritor," Ether 7 said. "The precursors would be proud." "I hope so. Sometimes I feel like I'm just pretending to know what I'm doing." "All leaders feel that way. But you have united your people, given them purpose. That is no small thing." Hana looked out at the stars. Space was vast, beautiful, terrifying. Somewhere out there, beyond the light, the machine swarm waited. She could feel it sometimes, a distant pressure, a storm gathering on the horizon. "How long do we have?" she asked. The core mind cannot calculate precisely, but the data suggests between 50 and 200 years. That's not much time. Not to prepare for something that destroyed 1,000 galaxies. It is enough. The precursors had 50 years. They achieved transcendence. Imagine what you will achieve with 2 centuries. Hana smiled. "We'll need it. And we'll need everyone, not just humans. Every species, every world. Then you must show them. Show them that unity creates strength, that working together, impossible things become possible." Is that what the precursors believed? It is what they proved, and it is what you will prove again. A signal came through. Jin's voice. "Hana, we've detected something. Deep space sensors, at the edge of the galactic rim." "What is it?" "We're not sure. It's faint. Old. But it's moving. Coming this way. Very slowly." Hana's blood went cold. "How slowly?" "At current speed. It will reach the outer systems in about 200 years. She and Ether 7 looked at each other. The storm wasn't gathering anymore. It had begun. The machine swarm was coming, right on schedule, right when the precursors had predicted. "Send the data to all member worlds," Hana commanded. "Call a council. Every species, every government. It's time they knew the truth." They'll panic, Jin warned. Maybe, but they'll also prepare, and that's what matters. Hana turned from the window. Her eyes glowed with determination. The precursors left us their tools. Now we need to prove we're worthy of them. Alert everyone. The awakening phase is over. The preparation phase begins. We have 2 centuries to save the galaxy. Let's not waste a single day. As she walked through the archive, humans and aliens working together on ancient technology, Hana felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Real hope. They had time. They had knowledge. They had unity. And most importantly, they had purpose. The precursors had chosen humanity for this moment, had waited millions of years for them to evolve, to grow, to be ready. Hana wouldn't let them down. None of them would. The machine swarm was coming. But this time, the galaxy would be ready. This time, they would fight. Together. And they would win. Because that's what inheritors did. They honored the past. They protected the future.